These aren't just games, they're masterpieces. From unforgettable stories to revolutionary gameplay, these 30 titles hit the elusive 10 out of 10 mark. Ready to experience perfection? Let's dive in. Elden Ring was an epic adventure that pushed me to my limits. The vast open world was both beautiful and brutal, filled with hidden secrets, challenging enemies, and stunning landscapes. Playing as the Tarnished, I explored every corner, battling fierce foes and uncovering the game's rich lore. The difficulty was punishing, but the sense of accomplishment after defeating a tough boss or uncovering a hidden area was unmatched. The freedom to approach challenges in my own way made each moment feel uniquely mine. Elden Ring wasn't just a game, it was an unforgettable, immersive journey. Doom Eternal was an exhilarating high-octane ride that pushed my combat skills to the limit. As the Doomslayer, I battled through demon-infested environments, combining fast-paced shooting with strategic movement. The game introduced new mechanics like the grappling hook and flamethrower, which added variety and intensity to the action. The story continued the fight against Hell's forces with an emphasis on brutal, relentless combat. The visuals were stunning, and the soundtrack, full of heavy metal, pumped up the adrenaline during every fight. Doom Eternal delivered a non-stop, visceral experience that made every encounter feel intense and satisfying. Gran Turismo 7 was a thrilling racing experience that combined stunning realism with deep customization. The game featured a vast range of cars, from classics to modern high-performance vehicles, and offered multiple racing disciplines across real-world tracks and fictional circuits. I spent hours tuning my cars to perfection, experimenting with different setups to improve performance. The graphics were breathtaking, with realistic lighting and detailed environments. The career mode was immersive, providing a progression system that rewarded me for skill and perseverance. With both single-player and multiplayer modes, Gran Turismo 7 delivered a comprehensive, highly enjoyable racing experience. Dying Light was an intense, heart-pounding survival experience. Set in a zombie-infested world, I played as Kyle Crane, navigating the city using parkour to escape danger and complete missions. The free-running mechanics were fluid and exhilarating, allowing me to traverse the environment in creative ways. The day-night cycle added an extra layer of tension, as zombies grew more aggressive and terrifying after dark. The mix of combat, exploration, and scavenging kept me constantly on my toes. Dying Light was a thrilling ride that combined fast-paced action with a gripping survival story. Dark Souls 3 was a punishing yet rewarding journey that tested my skill and patience. The dark, atmospheric world was filled with intricate lore and challenging enemies that kept me on edge every step of the way. The combat was fluid and satisfying, with each boss fight feeling like an epic battle that demanded precision and strategy. The interconnected world design and sense of discovery were amazing, while the deep, cryptic storytelling kept me hooked. Dark Souls 3 wasn't just about surviving, it was about learning, adapting, and conquering impossible odds. Alan Wake 2 is a survival horror game that follows both Alan Wake, trapped in the dark place, and FBI agent Saga Anderson, who investigates a series of disturbing murders linked to Alan's past. The game blends psychological horror with intense combat and puzzle solving, using light-based mechanics and an eerie atmosphere to build tension. The non-linear storytelling switches between characters as they uncover dark, supernatural forces. Alan Wake 2 focuses on survival horror elements and explores themes of reality distortion, making for a chilling, narrative-driven experience. Batman: Arkham City was an exhilarating and immersive experience. As the Dark Knight, I delved into a sprawling open world filled with iconic villains from the Joker to Two-Face, each encounter feeling unique and impactful. The combat system was fluid and satisfying, with free-flowing combos that made taking down enemies feel empowering. The story was gripping, with twists that kept me hooked from start to finish. The atmosphere of Arkham City, with its dark tone and attention to detail, truly brought Gotham to life. It wasn't just a superhero game, it was a deep, engaging action experience. Bloodborne was an intense and atmospheric experience that pushed me to my limits. The gothic, nightmarish world of Yharnam was beautifully dark, filled with horrifying creatures and a sense of relentless dread. Playing as the hunter, the fast-paced combat felt visceral and rewarding, especially when I learned to master the risk-reward system of attacking and healing. The deep lore and cryptic storytelling kept me intrigued, while the challenging bosses tested my skills and patience. Bloodborne wasn't just a game, it was a relentless, haunting journey that stayed with me long after I finished. Dead Space is a survival horror game set in the distant future, where players control Isaac Clarke, an engineer who is trying to survive on a spaceship infested with terrifying creatures called necromorphs. The game combines intense, atmospheric tension with challenging gameplay, where players must manage limited resources, solve puzzles, and combat grotesque enemies. The dark, claustrophobic setting adds to the horror, and the story delves into themes of isolation, madness, and survival. The game was praised for its immersive environment, eerie sound design, and innovative combat mechanics. The Dead Space remake, released in 2023, updated the visuals, controls, and mechanics while retaining the intense horror experience of the original. Resident Evil 2 was a terrifying and thrilling ride that kept me on the edge of my seat. Playing as either Leon or Claire, I explored the haunted, zombie-filled streets of Raccoon City, where every corner held a new danger. The overhauled visuals and tight atmospheric design made it feel incredibly immersive, and the survival horror elements were perfectly balanced with moments of intense action. The puzzles and resource management kept me thinking strategically, while the terrifying encounters with creatures like Mr. X added an extra layer of tension. Resident Evil 2 was a masterclass in suspense, blending nostalgia with modern gameplay. Metal Gear Solid 5: The Phantom Pain is an open-world action game developed by Kojima Productions. Set in 1984, it follows Venom Snake, a mercenary leader, as he seeks revenge against the organization that betrayed him. The game features tactical stealth, dynamic weather, and day-night cycles, with an expansive world to explore. Its deep story, filled with political intrigue and complex characters, explores themes of war, trauma, and identity. The gameplay is centered around using stealth, combat, and strategic planning to complete missions. It was praised for its world building, but some criticized its incomplete narrative, due to development challenges. Black Myth. Wukong is an action RPG inspired by the Chinese novel Journey to the West. The game follows the Monkey King, Sun Wukong, as he embarks on a journey through a world filled with mythical creatures and gods. Players can expect fast-paced combat, exploration, and a narrative influenced by Chinese philosophy and folklore. The game features a rich open world and deep, challenging gameplay, reminiscent of Dark Souls. A Plague Tale, Requiem was a deeply emotional and immersive experience. The story of Amisha and Hugo, struggling to survive in a world ravaged by plague and war, was incredibly gripping. The bond between the siblings was at the heart of the narrative, making their journey both heartbreaking and hopeful. The environments were stunning, with lush landscapes contrasting the horrors of the rat-infested ruins. The stealth-based gameplay, combined with puzzle-solving and tense moments, kept me on edge. The game was not just about survival, it was a poignant tale of family, sacrifice, and the cost of innocence.
We come here looking for a damn alchemist. We find a mass grave. It's fine. Let's just stay here waiting for...
Devil May Cry 5 was a thrilling action-packed experience that took me deep into the demon-slaying world of Nero, Dante, and the mysterious new character, V. The game's fast-paced, stylish combat was a blast, with each character offering unique abilities that kept battles exciting and varied. Nero's robotic arm, Dante's variety of weapons, and V's summoning powers all added fresh layers of strategy. The story was intense, revolving around the rise of a demonic tree threatening humanity. The visuals were stunning, and the soundtrack pumped up the adrenaline during every fight. Overall, Devil May Cry 5 was a visually spectacular, action-filled roller coaster ride. Fallout 4 was an immersive journey into a post-apocalyptic world where every decision felt impactful. As the sole survivor, I explored the vast wasteland of the Commonwealth, encountering mutated creatures, raiders, and factions vying for control. The freedom to shape my character, build settlements, and choose my path through the story was incredibly engaging. The combat, crafting, and dialogue systems gave me plenty of ways to approach challenges. Fallout 4's world felt alive, with rich lore, memorable characters, and moral dilemmas that made every choice meaningful. It was a deep, rewarding experience that kept me hooked for hours. Diablo 3 was a fast-paced, addictive action RPG that kept me hooked for hours. I explored the dark world of Sanctuary, battling demons and monsters across different regions, using a wide variety of skills and abilities. The game's loot system was incredibly satisfying, with endless gear and upgrades that made each playthrough feel rewarding. The story followed the rise of evil forces, with Diablo and his minions threatening the world once again. The fast combat, varied character classes, and multiplayer options made Diablo 3 a thrilling and immersive experience. It was an exciting mix of action, loot hunting, and strategy. The Last of Us Part I was a deeply emotional and unforgettable journey. Playing as Joel, I navigated a post-apocalyptic world filled with danger, beauty, and heartbreaking moments. The relationship between Joel and Ellie was the heart of the story, and their bond evolved in ways that were both tender and intense. The gameplay mixed stealth, exploration, and intense combat, making every encounter feel meaningful. The stunning environments and emotional weight of the narrative made it feel like a living, breathing world. It was more than just a game, it was an experience that left a lasting impact. Skyrim was an adventure like no other. Stepping into the shoes of the Dragonborn, I explored a vast open world filled with quests, dungeons, and rich lore. From the snowy peaks of the Throat of the World to the bustling streets of Whiterun, every corner of Skyrim felt alive. The freedom to shape my character, choose my path, and interact with its people made each playthrough unique. The battles were thrilling, the dragons awe-inspiring, and the story of defeating Alduin, the World Eater, epic. Skyrim truly became a world I lost myself in for hours on end. Uncharted 4. A Thief's End was a thrilling and emotional adventure. Playing as Nathan Drake once again, I was swept into a story of treasure hunting, betrayal, and redemption. The game's visuals were stunning, with incredible attention to detail in the environments, from lush jungles to ancient ruins. The smooth cinematic gameplay made climbing, shooting, and puzzle-solving feel seamless. The story was gripping, with deep character development, particularly in Nathan's relationships with his brother Sam and wife Elena. Uncharted 4 delivered an unforgettable, action-packed journey, filled with heart, breathtaking moments, and a perfect conclusion to Nathan's story. Marvel's Spider-Man was an exhilarating experience, swinging through the streets of New York City as Peter Parker felt incredible, with the fluid, fast-paced combat and stunning visuals making every moment feel exciting. The story, centered on Peter balancing his life as a hero and a man, was deeply engaging, especially with the emotional stakes surrounding characters like MJ, Miles, and Norman Osborn. The mix of action, exploration, and the unique challenges of being Spider-Man made it one of the most fun and immersive superhero games I've played. Ghost of Tsushima was a breathtaking adventure that immersed me in feudal Japan. As Jin Sakai, I fought to protect my homeland from the Mongol invasion, navigating stunning landscapes and engaging in intense samurai combat. The game's visuals were incredible, from the sweeping grasslands to the tranquil forests. The fluid combat system, which combined swordplay with stealth tactics, felt satisfying and strategic. What made it even more memorable was the emotional story of honor, sacrifice, and personal growth. Ghost of Tsushima wasn't just a game, it was an unforgettable journey through a beautifully crafted world. Sekiro. Shadows Die Twice was a challenging and rewarding experience that tested my patience and skill. Playing as the lone wolf shinobi, I navigated a beautifully crafted world filled with brutal enemies and epic boss battles. The combat was fast and unforgiving, requiring precise timing and strategy, especially with the posture system and the use of tools like the grappling hook. The story, rooted in Japanese folklore, was captivating, with themes of honor, revenge, and sacrifice. Sekiro wasn't just about combat, it was about overcoming immense challenges, making every victory feel earned and satisfying. Resident Evil 4 Remake was a thrilling and intense ride from start to finish. The improved graphics and overhauled mechanics brought new life to the classic, making every encounter with enemies, from the creepy Ganados to terrifying bosses, feel even more immersive. Playing as Leon, the mix of survival horror, action, and puzzle-solving kept me on edge. The atmosphere was tense, with the dark, detailed environments heightening the sense of danger. The revamped controls and polished gameplay made it an unforgettable experience that kept me hooked from beginning to end. Final Fantasy XVI was an epic journey into a dark medieval fantasy world filled with rich lore and emotional storytelling. I played as Clive Rossfield, who embarks on a quest for revenge against those who wronged him and his family. The The game focused on intense real-time combat with a dynamic battle system that allowed for fluid action and devastating abilities, especially with the incorporation of powerful icons, summons. The story was deep, exploring themes of loss, power, and duty, with a mature tone compared to previous Final Fantasy games. The world of Valisthea was beautifully crafted, and the side content, including quests and exploration, offered a lot of variety to keep me engaged. Final Fantasy XVI was a standout RPG, blending traditional Final Fantasy elements with a fresh approach to combat and narrative. God of War 2018 was an unforgettable experience for me. Playing as Kratos, I navigated a stunning Norse world, balancing intense, strategic combat with a deeply emotional journey. The bond between Kratos and his son, Atreus, was the heart of the story, evolving through moments of tension and growth. Wielding the Leviathan axe felt incredible, and the game's visuals and music completely immersed me. It wasn't just a tale of gods and monsters. It was about family, legacy, and redemption, leaving a lasting impression I'll never forget. Red Dead Redemption 2 was an unforgettable experience. Playing as Arthur Morgan, I was immersed in a breathtaking living world filled with detailed landscapes and dynamic interactions. The story, centered on loyalty, morality, and redemption, was incredibly moving, with Arthur's internal struggle creating a deep emotional connection. The realism of the gameplay, from the vast open world to the small interactions, kept me engaged throughout. It wasn't just a game, it was a journey. And by the end, I felt like I truly lived in the Wild West.
Whatever you say.
Well, I say, why buy it off the shelves when you can make your own? Well, plenty left here.
Portal 2 was a brilliant blend of humour, puzzle solving, and innovative gameplay. As I navigated the test chambers with the help or hindrance of the AIGLADOS, the clever puzzles kept me thinking creatively and challenged my problem-solving skills. The addition of new mechanics like the excursion funnel and repulsion gel added fresh layers of complexity. The writing was sharp and witty, with memorable characters like Wheatley making the journey even more enjoyable. The game's clever design, paired with its engaging narrative, made Portal 2 not just a puzzle game, but a truly memorable experience. Just Cause 3 was an explosive and chaotic adventure that let me unleash my inner action hero. Playing as Rico Rodriguez, I had the freedom to create mayhem in an open-world environment, using a wide range of weapons, vehicles, and gadgets. The grappling hook and parachute mechanics were especially fun, allowing me to zip across the landscape, pull off stunts, and attach explosives to anything in sight. The world of Medici was massive, filled with stunning landscapes and plenty of opportunities for destruction. It wasn't about subtlety, it was about having fun with over-the-top action and creating chaos at every turn. Nier Automata was a thought-provoking and emotionally charged experience. The game's unique blend of action, exploration, and existential themes set it apart from others. Playing as 2B and 9S, I navigated a post-apocalyptic world, fighting machines and uncovering layers of story that explored what it means to be human. The combat was fast-paced and fluid, while the narrative kept me questioning reality, purpose, and identity. The music was hauntingly beautiful, enhancing the emotional weight of the game. Nier, Automata wasn't just a game, it was a journey that left me reflecting long after it ended. Cyberpunk 2077 was a visually stunning and immersive dive into a dystopian future. Playing as V, I explored the neon-lit streets of Night City, engaging in high-stakes missions and navigating complex relationships with various factions. The world felt alive, with deep customization options, from upgrading abilities to customizing weapons and vehicles. The story was gripping, filled with twists and raised questions about identity, technology, and humanity. Despite some initial technical issues, the vast, open world and detailed narrative offered a truly unique experience. Cyberpunk 2077 was a bold, ambitious journey into a dark, high-tech future that kept me engaged for hours.